Hey guys, Bear here, and one of the things I wanted to do for my first video is to do a computer maintenance and preventative care video. So, let's dig right in. So one of the first things that we want to do before we really touch the computer itself is we want to check the surroundings. We want to make sure that the computer is going to live as long as it can by making sure it's in the best area it can be. So one of the things for the surroundings is that we want to keep the computer as cool as it can be at all times possible. So we want to keep it out of direct sunlight. Direct sunlight is going to, of course, heat it up, and the longer it's hot, the shorter the life is going to be. So the cooler we can keep it, the better. Another way to keep it away from heat is don't put it right next to an air duct, which is going to be pumping out heat, or don't put it right next to one of your personal heaters that you might take to the office. Another thing that we can do to help keep our computer running as long as possible is keeping our computer away from dirt, animal hair, and smoke. These are three things that can really build up in your system and shorten your system's life. So a great way to keep it away from dirt and animal hair is, if possible, put it up on something. Even if it's just a little tiny lift off the ground, can make a good difference for your computer's life. And if you do smoke inside your house with cigarettes or e-vaping, you may want to go ahead and just do a normal routine clean out of your system once a month. So now that we know our computer is in a good area, let's go ahead and continue with wiping it down. The best approach for wiping down your computer is going to be using a non-scratch cloth and getting it slightly wet, just very slightly. Me personally, I'm just going to be using some glass cleaner and some paper towels. So while I'm wiping this down, one of the things that I'm really looking for here is I'm wanting to make sure that all my ventilation areas are kind of clear of dust or anything else that could be blocking it. So far, I'm looking pretty good. Now, I do have some dust here that is building up around my vents. So you might be able to see here that I actually have some animal hair and dust that has collected on top of my fans. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off my computer. And now that my computer is off, I'm going to take that same cloth that is just slightly wet, and I'm just going to kind of push down, because gravity is going to be your friend here. I'm just going to push down on all this animal hair so it doesn't go into the case. So keyboards in my mind are pretty simple. I think you just need another thing of paper towels with one spray or two with some window cleaner, and then go ahead and give it a wipe down. Again, we might want to make sure the PC is off. That way we're not typing anything. Voila! Looks really good now. Nice and shiny, sparkly. However, if you are a person who eats while you're at your desk, you may want to take the keyboard, go ahead and kind of hold it upside down, or maybe first at 90 degrees and then upside down, in order to help get the crumbs out. Now, for a lot of keyboards, keys might be able to easily pop out to kind of help with that cleaning process. Now, if you don't feel comfortable, or if you cannot release the keys from the keyboards themselves, a little bit of compressed air can help push those crumbs out from underneath the keys. Next up on our list is mice, and what I'm just going to use again is that paper towel, a half squirt, because you don't really need much for a mouse, onto some paper towel, and I'm going to wipe it down. And if I can show you like I can here, you can really kind of see that over time, mice also collect a lot of gunk. Alrighty, how's that looking? Awesome, pretty good. I think I need to get myself a better mouse though. I mean, this is nice, especially for free. So one of the other things that we're gonna wanna do though, for cleaning our mice, we'll assume this one's clean, is we wanna make sure our mouse pad is also clean. any like sort of dirt or animal hair. So easy way, again, is that paper towel. And I am just going to wipe this down. I'm also going to go ahead and take the underside of this mouse. And you want to be very careful of the you want to be careful of the optics. And voila, you have a nice clean mouse area. It needs a friend. Mice need to go in pairs. And then if you have other things like HOTAs, like this Satex X52 Pro, you can go ahead and very easily just wipe it down. And then controllers, these are actually pretty simple in my mind. The easiest thing I find to do with these, I haven't actually used this one in a while. The easiest thing I find to do with these is actually disconnect any sort of microphone adapter that you might have. And then what I do is I look to see what sort of dead skin has built up over time. And usually right here where your palm kind of meets the edge, and then right along where your triggers are, that's where I find collects the most amount of dead skin. So, easiest thing to do is take a toothpick or a dental floss toothpick combo, and then I just kind of put it in here, and then I just push along the edge, and I just watch as the dead skin, I just watch as the dead skin kind of comes out. So one of the couple last things that I'm going to say about doing some PC maintenance on the outside of the computer is that you're going to want to probably go to your power surge, unplug the power cable, and re-plug the cable. For a couple of reasons. If you have pets or children, or maybe you just sit your feet down by the cords, or maybe there's other cords down there that might interact with the other cables, such as Ethernet cables, or just a keyboard cable or mouse cable. And your mouse cable, we are actually moving quite a bit. So those are things to check for. So by disconnecting and reconnecting the power cables, you're going to ensure that the cables are fully connected to the best of their abilities. Now the other thing that you want to check for when you're down there unplugging and replugging these cables is you're also going to want to check the surge protection light. The surge protection light is a really good thing. You want to make sure that the light for your surge protection is on. Most of our power strips today have them. There are still some out there that don't have them. Uncommon, but it's still out there. So, and the surge protection light just basically means that your power strip is still going to be protected from a surge coming through. If the light's not on, it's time to replace it. And now that we're done with the outside of the computer, let's go ahead and get inside the computer. So we want to go ahead and move our computer out into an area in which we can work on it a little easier. So I recommend that you unplug anything in which might hold you back or which you might pull on cable-wise. I also cannot stress this enough. Please make sure you unplug your computer. We don't want to damage the computer, and we definitely don't want to hurt ourselves. So unplugging the computer will definitely help reduce the chance of electrical shock. If you have a power switch on, go ahead and you want to switch this to the off, which is the O. Voila. All right, now we can go ahead and crack the case open and get into it. So it's kind of hard for me to get my entire computer inside the frame of the video here. But if you have a graphics card and you have pets, or it's on the floor, or it's in an environment in which smoke is around, you might want to go ahead and remove your graphics card. And then we're going to blow this out with a can of compressed air separately than the rest of the computer case. So one of the things that you may notice with your graphics card, air-cooled graphics card, we're not going to rip out any water-cooled graphics card. If you have one, you might notice that there's some dust collected on here. There might be some animal hair. So now's a good time just to kind of take it out, hold it kind of upright, and then take a can of compressed air, hold it upright. Never angle the can of compressed air or read the directions because we never want to get this wet. And if you hold a can of compressed air the wrong way, you could be getting this wet. So just go ahead and blow it out with some compressed air. If you had already gone and taken out the graphics card, let's go ahead and put it down somewhere. I recommend on top of an anti-static mat, if you have one, or anything else that might be anti-static. So one of the things that we're going to want to do, and I recommend that we take our computer outside actually, if you notice that there's a good amount of dust in here, or if there's dust bunnies, or anything else of that nature. But one of the things that you're going to want to do is check for dust filters. You would probably already know if your case has dust filters or not. Custom cases really have them the most. Take your dust filters and then just go ahead and outside blow your dust filter clean. So I'm on my 3 out of my 3 dust filters that I do have for my computer case, and you can just kind of see that I just have a big amount of animal hair right there. And look at that. That is just disgusting. So before we go ahead and put our dust filters back into our computer case, you might want to take a can of compressed air and just go ahead and kind of blow out as much as you can inside your case. Again, if you have a bunch of dust, take your computer outside. You don't want it floating around your room. Now that I'm done with blowing out all the dust, I'm going to go ahead and put all my dust filters back in. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my graphics card back in. And lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cover back onto my computer case because we're basically done. Now we're going to go ahead and put the computer back into place. Now it's time to plug all the cables back in. I am all nice and pretty all across the board. Hello, me. Oh yeah. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this. The only other thing I would really say is that if you want to make your area sparkle and pop, is go ahead and clean down your surrounding areas, dust around your computer, maybe even clean off your monitor or TV screen or whatever you're using. I recommend, again, some glass cleaner and then the paper towels. But be very careful because some of these are extremely fragile underneath. So, hit the like button if this was helpful to you in any way. Thanks.